everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. Today I have another designer chat video for you. And in this video, I want to talk about some different income streams you can have as a designer. Hey everyone, it's Jen Lucas, knit and crochet designer. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose and another designer chat video. So like I said in the intro, I want to talk a little bit about different income streams that you can have as a designer. What sort of made me want to make this video is that in January, Casey from Ravelry shared some information about how much designers were making in the month of January. And so it was broken down in a spreadsheet. I'll leave a link to it down below, sort of showing, not like obviously showing like who made what, but showing like the number of designers making like what level of income from Ravelry in January. And so it was really interesting because, at least for me, what it told me was that there are a few designers that are making, you know, very good money, at least very good money in my eyes, off of Ravelry pattern sales, but that the vast majority of designers are not making like a lot of money on Ravelry. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about how, if you want to do this, whether that's part-time or full-time, that for the vast majority of us, it is a lot of different incomes that make up sort of like, I guess, my salary, or, you know, I'm not making like a lot of money from any one thing. Okay, it's a lot of little things that sort of add up to make my income. And so I actually took a look, I guess because it's like around tax time now too. I took a look at my numbers from 2018 and I sort of broke them down into 4 different categories. So my first category was patterns. So patterns for me, that meant like self-published patterns. So that would be any income that I made off of Ravelry. I have patterns on Love Knitting, the website. I have patterns, like print patterns available through Stitch Sprouts. They wholesale my print patterns to like yarn stores and yarn companies. Or anything like that, where like anything that involved my self-published patterns. That's what I mean by patterns. Then I have royalties, and so I have written a bunch of knitting books, so that would be any book royalties that I'm receiving from those books. Teaching is my next category, so I do go around a little bit, not a ton, throughout the year and teach for yarn stores, knitting guilds, occasionally a convention. So teaching is the next category, and then my last category is third party. So third party would be any sort of design that I do for a yarn company that they're selling it on their website. They have the rights to the pattern. I'm not selling it myself. Magazine patterns, things like that. So I broke it down into those 4 categories. And so I just wanted to give you the percentage of each one. So as far as patterns go, that was 27% of my income for last year. The vast majority of the patterns income does come from Ravelry, but still that's like a mix of a lot of different places where my self-published patterns are available. The next one is royalties. Again, that's book royalties. That was my largest at 34% of my income. I feel like I need to say that, you know, I have written a lot of knitting books. I have 6 full-length knitting books out and a booklet available with Leisure Arts. So a lot of designers, you know, don't go the route of writing knitting books, writing physical knitting books. That's like a hard business to be in now, you know, as everything moves more digital. But for me, that still is the largest portion of my income is book royalties. Teaching was 21% of my income for last year. And then my third party things, like I said, for magazines and yarn companies that are selling the patterns on their website with the rights to the pattern was 18%. So you can see that like the vast majority of my money is not coming from Ravelry because my self-published pattern section of this little list was 27%, and in that 27% was Ravelry, was the Stitch Sprouts patterns, was Love Knitting, was Knit Picks, was Webs, like all these other places too where my patterns are sold. And so what I really just want to say is that yes, like you look at this information from Ravelry and like it was like a little bit comforting to know that like you're not alone. Like the vast majority of designers are not making a ton of money on Ravelry. But I'm just here to say that like if you really want to make this into a job, whether that is part-time or full-time, you can do it, But for, again, the majority of us, it is going to come down to having a bunch of little income streams coming in. It's a bunch of little tiny checks coming from a bunch of places that add up. And yes, there are designers that can make this their full-time job, just selling patterns on Ravelry, and that is like awesome, because if you're self-publishing patterns, you're controlling every aspect of it yourself. But for most of us, that's not how this works. It is a lot of hard work working with a lot of different people. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and just sort of give you a brief breakdown of like the percentages of where like my income's coming from. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment down below. Again, if you're a designer, I would love to know sort of where the majority of your money's coming from. Like, is your income mostly coming from Ravelry? Do you focus more on teaching? Like I always say in these videos, I'm always curious about what other people are experiencing in the industry as well. We all do kind of like work by ourselves, most of us from home, or maybe we do have some people do have studio space, but we don't always get a lot of opportunity to sort of like talk to each other about these sort of things. So if you're willing to share down in the comments below, I would love to know. So that's it for me today for this designer chat. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, including more designer chats, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you like, you can turn on the notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope that everybody has a great week and happy knitting and crocheting, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.